don't think we let athletes grow anymore. I think we decide who they are way too fast. And once we decide, we don't change our minds. One bad playoff game and that's who you are forever. One early failure and suddenly you're labeled. And what's wild is that's not how sports used to be. Welcome back to another edition of The Adam Kennedy Show with your boy AK The Ref. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button per usual. We are here in another episode because this episode right here is something I want to talk about, and I've been seeing a lot lately in the last 10, 15 years. So if you're into sports conversations that actually make sense and not just takes recycled takes every week, you're in the right place, because this is about an episode of why we don't let athletes grow anymore and how development slowly disappeared from the way we talk about sports. Because there was a time when development was part of the story, right? I mean, you look at the NBA when LeBron entered the league, like, he had a lot of pressure on him right away. And he didn't win championships right away. He lost in Cleveland, he struggled, he failed on the biggest stage. He made it to the finals, but didn't win. And that was a talking point, right? But then there was the whole comparison to Jordan, but he was never completely written off. He went to Miami, he teamed up with Wade and Bosh, he won 2, and then he went back to Cleveland and won a championship there because he wanted to win a championship in Cleveland. And then he went to LA and won a championship. But you got to take all that, like that losing first when he was his first stint in Cleveland. He learned and be like, how did this change him? How did it make him better? What did he come back with next year? The patience mattered. He went to a new team, he won, and then he came back to Cleveland, won, went to LA and won. So he's won in all the places he's been. But then you look at somebody like Giannis, right? Playoff disappointment, questions about his game, questions of whether he could be the guy or not. And then he grew into it. And now he's one of the best players in the NBA, one of the top players in the NBA, and he's got a championship to his name, right? Because he grew into that, he developed. And that's what I'm talking about, that development and how that compares to what we talk about sports today. Because you look at how fast we turn now on these athletes, right? You take the NFL, for example, a young quarterback struggles in his first playoff game, and the conversation immediately becomes whether he's the answer, right? A young NBA star loses in the second round and suddenly he can't win. There's no room for timeline anymore. Like, when did everything have to be success immediately, right? I'll tell you this, quick example. When you get hired for a job, you have time to grow and develop into that job and become the best version of yourself, right? Like, you get hired as a teacher. I'll tell you a prime example. You get hired as a teacher. You're not expected to be Mr. Wonderful or Mrs. Wonderful teacher or be this great, amazing teacher. That takes time. That takes years of experience. You grow into it. We don't let that happen in sports anymore, right? In the NFL, maybe back in the day, quarterbacks used to get time in the NFL. And you look at Peyton Manning, his rookie year. What we like 20 interceptions? I tell you, if a quarterback did that today, they'd be written off for like, this quarterback's trash, he sucks, get him out. Right? That didn't define him. It taught him. And like I said, today that would be labeled a red flag. If you take Peyton Manning's rookie year and put it on a quarterback today, you'd have a red flag, right? But we live in this reaction culture of now. What's it now? What's the take? We gotta judge. We gotta talk about it, right? Everything is judged in isolation. Every mistake gets clipped. Every bad moment lives forever in this world of social media. And there's no pause. There's no reflection. There's no patience. A bad series becomes a character flaw, And we stop asking what happened and start declaring who someone is. And it's frustrating. And nowhere is more obvious than the playoffs. I mean, the playoffs used to be about experience. Now they're treated like the final exam. I mean, you look at baseball, Mike Trout spent years losing in the playoffs or missing them entirely, Nobody questioned whether he was great because we understood the sport. Baseball is different. Baseball takes that time. It takes that time to grow up, to develop. Because to me, baseball is probably the hardest sport. Out of like the big 3, soccer's fucking hard too. But if I'm just going the big 3, baseball is easily one of the hardest ones. To try to hit a ball. It's going 90 miles an hour. Have you ever tried to hit a curveball? Have you ever tried to hit a 90-mile-an-hour fastball? Have you ever tried to get in front of a grounder, a line drive pop-up grounder that's coming fucking full speed at you? But we understand that, we get that. Baseball players get time to develop, but in football and basketball, that grace is gone. Like, right, you lose early, you're exposed. You lose twice and you're labeled. You lose 3 times and you're dismissed. But that's not growth. That's impatient, right? And I feel like quarterbacks feel this the most out of any position in sports. Quarterbacks definitely feel this the most. They have these high expectations that they're, as soon as they come into the league, they should be finished products immediately. That's not the way it fucking works, right? And if you don't win early, you're compared to someone who already has, which is not fair. I mean, you look at players like Drew Brees and Matthew Stafford. They didn't win immediately. It took them a long while before they got to the Super Bowl. Stafford just didn't suddenly become good when he won the Super Bowl. He was good the whole time. It was the environment finally matched the talent, right? But today, we don't wait for that. No. Why would we? Right? We're in the social media world. Everybody's got a fucking take. Nobody has time to let anything develop and cook, right? And this is where I think we really lose the plot. I honestly think it would serve athletes better if more of them were allowed to sit for a year. And I'm not talking about, like, especially baseball. Like, they don't need to come up immediately in baseball. Let them have time to develop in, like, AAA or AA or however, because I know they have developmental systems in baseball. I know they have them in basketball. I know they have the G League. I don't know how great the G League is as a developmental, but they have that. You know what one sport doesn't have fucking developmental? Football. The NFL does not have a developmental league. And that's why this would serve NFL athletes better if they were allowed to sit for a year, especially quarterbacks, because I think that's the hardest position to play in football. That and defensive back. I think defensive back could be the hardest position with the quarterback. To me, it's tied. To me, it's like, pick your poison. Like, which one do you think is the hardest? But I just think, just let these athletes develop, right? You're not punishing them when you're sitting them for a year. They're not benched out of fear. But if they actually get to sit and learn the process on the field / on the court, whatever sport they're playing, off the field, off the court, in meetings, in locker rooms. I mean, shit, you look at Patrick Mahomes. When the Chiefs drafted him, he didn't start right away. He sat. He learned. He got to watch Alex Smith, how to be a professional quarterback and how do they prepare. And then when it was his time, he was ready. And I don't think that doesn't get talked about enough. I think here locally in Kansas City it does. That how would Mahomes' career be if he started his rookie year, compared to him being able to sit, learn, watch how quarterback conducts his business on and off the field, in meetings with the team. He got to sit back and learn. How would his career be if he started his rookie year compared to how it is now with him sitting for a year and starting his second year in the league? Granted, he got that one start at the end of the year, but that game didn't really mean anything because the Chiefs had already clinched the playoff spot. So it was like, let's get the start and see what he has. I mean, but he had the whole time. He had the whole offseason. He wasn't going in as a starter. There was no pressure. He got to sit back, learn, take it all in, develop relationships with his teammates, learn from Alex Smith. Alex Smith was being a great fucking leader, a veteran player, and teaching them, even though he knew that Patrick Mahomes was going to take his job next year. But I think that year of him being able to sit mattered. It didn't delay the greatness that we're seeing. It helped shape it, right? And Mahomes isn't the only example. I mean, shit, you look at Baker Mayfield. I mean, people were high on him coming out of college. He gets drafted by the Browns. And then people wrote him off with the Browns, right? They labeled him as he's too short. He can't play the game. He's not a good quarterback. He can't lead. They said he was done. But then he goes to Tampa. He's balling. He's leading his team to the playoffs. I mean, they didn't make the playoffs this year, but did they make the playoffs? I don't even fucking know. You don't understand what I'm saying. But he was like this team to the playoffs last year, deep into the playoffs. They're actually competing. Like, yeah, they had Tom Brady, took him to a Super Bowl and won it. But then you look, they get Baker Mayfield, and it's like he's out here balling, right? And it's not because he just suddenly became talented. It's because he learned. He had time to grow, and he learned the league. He learned himself. He learned what works and what doesn't. He just needed time. I know he was a first-round pick, But sometimes these players need time. They're not polished. They're not what you think they are coming out of college. I think these players, these athletes in any professional sport deserve the time. It shouldn't be like if you don't develop in 1 year, you're cooked. No. I take another example. Look at Alex Smith. I mean, when he came out, when he got drafted, the year he got drafted in San Francisco, he was there his whole entire career until he came to Kansas City, right? But you gotta understand, here's my thing. You gotta understand, he came into the league as a shotgun quarterback, and they tried to make him wanted to be under center and start from the beginning under center and do all these things. And then, like in San Francisco, he went through fucking what 5 different offense coordinators, so he had to learn like 5 different offenses systems. But then he got Harbaugh to come in. He put him in a position to succeed and show like, oh, Alex Smith is really he's actually good. He's not a failure. Because when he did, and he was one play away from taking his team to the Super Bowl. It was like, okay, he could actually do this. And then he got hurt, and Colin Kaepernick came in, and then Colin Kaepernick took the team to the Super Bowl. Chiefs traded for Alex Smith, but then he got under Andy Reid, and Alex Smith's career here was really good. I thought we had legitimate chances to make it to the Super Bowl with him as quarterback. I really did, because I saw like he's actually really good, and he gets here with Andy Reid, and his game elevates even more. And it's not all of a sudden he became good. It's one of those things he had time to grow, develop, and it's also one of those things that coaches put him in position to be successful. And I think back in the day with coaches and quarterbacks coming out of college, I say like 20 years ago, when quarterbacks would come out of college, they come out of the spread system, but then the coaches would be like, you got to be able to run this offense. Instead of what we have now is when these quarterbacks come out of college, we build the offense around them. We go to their strength. So it's one of those things where it's like, I think that was part of the problem with quarterbacks and why a lot of them didn't succeed. I think they should sit for a year. But I also think you as a coach shouldn't be trying to make this person be what they're not. Do their strengths and then work on their weaknesses so you can develop their overall game. And having time should be okay. That should be okay. But it's not. For some reason in today's sports world, it's not. Right? And if anyone thinks that this idea is new, it's not. It's not. Look at Michael Jordan. Early in his career, he kept losing the playoffs. Just kept losing. Always losing to Detroit, to the Lakers, to the Celtics. I mean, Lakers were in the finals, but Detroit and the Celtics kept losing. Couldn't get past them to get to the finals, right? Early in his career, he was balling. But I don't remember. I wasn't alive in that time of when he got drafted. It was young. But I remember the 90s Jordan, and I'll get to that. I know when you look back, he kept losing and losing over and over. But that narrative, I don't think, didn't say he wasn't talented. It was, he was trying to do everything himself. He didn't know how to let his teammates help him, right? He was trying to do everything. He scored, he tried to carry, he tried to fight by himself. He didn't trust his teammates. It wasn't until coach told him, like, you got to trust your teammates. You got to get your teammates involved. If you start doing that, it would take you to the next level. And that's true. One person can't do it all by themselves. They need to trust their teammates. And then when that changed, the new head coach, add some good players, some good role players. And when he finally started to trust his teammates and play within that system, what happened? What happened? What happened when he finally trusted the guys around him and trusted the system he played in instead of trying to do everything himself? Please, you know what happened. He learned when to take over the game and let the game come to him in the moments. He didn't have to go out there and score 60, 40 points. I could score 30. I could score 25. Because I know I got some guys on here that can score. And when it's time, I can let the game come to me. When it's time to take it over, I take it over. Right? That growth mattered. Because once it clicked, look what happened. What happened? What happened after he learned that? He had 2 3-peats. 6 championships. That's 6 championships to you and me. That doesn't happen if he's not allowed to fail. And that doesn't happen if he's written off early. And that doesn't happen without time to grow and learn, which he did. Because he got 6 championships out of it, and he's considered one of the best basketball players to ever do it, right? And Jordan didn't stop being great before he won. He became greater because he had time to learn and grow and develop into the player he eventually became. And I think that's the part we forget when we watch sports, all professional sports. Listen, you don't have to defend every athlete you like, and you don't have to bury everyone who loses. Both things can be true. You can acknowledge mistakes, you can talk about shortcomings, and still recognize growth. That's not being soft. That's just being honest. Like I said in the last episode, sports takes are lazy. Just be honest. We don't have to do these hot takes. Like, can we be honest and have honest conversations, right? We've lost patience, we lost perspective, and we lost the ability to say, let's see with this player. Let's see. Everything is rushed. Everything is extreme. Everything's the final. Everything is like, you got to come in here. You got to play. You're making this much money. I don't care. You got to come in here and be fucking Hall of Famer on day fucking one. That's not how it works. Oh my God. I'm crashing out. Right. I'm crashing the fuck out. We don't allow athletes to become better in the public eye anymore. We expect the fucking results. We expect instant greatness. Greatness is not instant. It's built through failure. You learn from your past mistakes and you fucking grow. And then you become fucking great. But we don't do that. We don't do that in today's world. Today's society. Fuck that shit. We want it all now. You gotta be great now. If you ain't great now, you fucking suck. You're a bum. Right? We just got to do it. Through learning, through trust, through time. Just let the athletes grow like they should be allowed to. And I tell you, if you just allow them to grow and learn, guaranteed the product will be better all around. The games, no matter what the sport is, they will be better all around. And if we want better sports conversations, we have to grow with them. Instead of just having hot takes and who's ever screaming the fucking loudest wins the fucking debate, when their fucking debate makes no fucking sense. Because there's no context, there's no time, there's no honest conversations happening. This is not a rant, this is honest, this is honesty, this is the truth. This is the fucking truth. I don't give a fuck that they get paid millions of dollars. Nobody at your job, when you start a new job, expects you to be fucking great Hall of Famer at your job, do they? Irrelevant for the money. When you start a job, I bet you there's no pressure on you to be great right away. Bullshit. And if there is, get the fuck out of that place. Go to a place that has time for you to grow and learn and become the best version of yourself. We need to do that in sports too. So the product can be overall better. And we can have this better relationship between athletes and the media and the fans. And we can have honest sports conversations from now on instead of the dumb shit that happens on national television or radio. And if you don't agree with it, you don't agree with it. But I'm being honest, and this is 100% facts. We don't allow athletes to grow. Fuck your growth and development and learning the system and game. You should already know how to do it. That's not the way it works. Listen, I played football 2 years in college. I remember when I can remember when you go Little League, when you go like youth sports. Let's start elementary, and then you go to middle school. Oh, it's different. Yeah. We gotten bigger in middle school. You're playing different people, and then when you go to high school, it's even faster. It's different. Everybody's big. Everybody's strong in high school too. And then when I jumped to college, I was like, God damn, everybody's fucking fast. Everybody's fucking big and strong. And guess what? Freshman year, yes, I made the team. I got in playing time, but it took me like that whole summer, conditioning, 2-a-days, that first season. And then I finally started to like grasp like the physicality and the mentalness and be able to grow and be like, okay, now I know what it takes to be on this field and contribute and be the best I can be. Because now once that spring semester started, we started getting into like spring conditioning and lifting and spring football. I was like, okay, my mindset, I know what to expect now. So when we got into that second summer of fucking conditioning, I knew what the fuck to expect. I knew how to prepare myself in the off season. Like after that first summer, that first season, when we got into that spring semester, my first spring conditioning off season, I was like, okay, I know what I need to do now. And I took all that from that first semester, that summer to the first season. I took it into the spring, the second summer, and the second season. And I was like, I know what the fuck I need to do now. I know how to make myself better. I know what the fuck I need to do now, right? I didn't know what the fuck to do. I didn't know what to expect. I went there summer. I tell you, the summer conditioning was rough and tough. Oh my God. If football conditioning in summer, whoo! And then we go 2-a-days, whoo! And then the conditioning test, whoo! And then you get into the season. My body was beat. My mental was shit. I was just like, it was a struggle. It was a struggle. It was a process. It was learning. Yeah, I got in the game there, here, and there. I made the team, which was a proud moment for me. But just that whole summer for that first season, it was a struggle. I was feeling pain in muscles I didn't know I had. where I've never felt pain before. But then, like, after that, I took some time off. Yeah, you have winter break, Christmas break, whatever you want to call it. You come back, you let your mind and body rest. And then when you come back, it's like, okay, I know what I need to do now. Take that information, I take it through the spring, I take it through the next summer of conditioning and 2 days and into the season. And I felt a lot better mentally and physically. Because I had time to grow. I learned. I wasn't expected to come in here and just contribute right away. Yes, I made the team. I contributed what I needed to. But that shit was rough. I'm not going to lie. And that's what I'm talking about. Allow these athletes to grow. Because when they go from college to the NFL, it's different. Ask any athlete or just the pros. When you go from college to the pros, it's different. It's different. It is. When are we going to recognize that? It's like when you graduate college and you go to the real world and job, it's different. You need time to grow. And we don't let athletes do it no more. Why? I don't fucking know. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. I don't give a fuck if you draft somebody in the first round. Allow them time to grow. Allow them to sit the bench. Maybe come off the bench. If it's basketball, maybe have them come off the bench. Do they need to start right away? No. If they can, cool. But don't have these high expectations that you gotta go win a championship immediately. Because that's not the fucking way it fucking works. Jesus. Whew. So, but that's all I got for today. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. This is the Adam Kennedy Show, and we here, and we gonna have discussions like this all the time, whether it's sports, movies, television shows, video games. I mean, like I said, we talk sports and entertainment the right way around here, and I'm fucking here for it, and I love all y'all out there. So until next time, I'm out. Peace. Let's fucking get it. Let's get it.